Hello everybody, we are in 2020. As you can tell, I'm with the drawers and the handles have turned up. Now, ow, stabbed myself in the face. I haven't taken these out of the packet yet. Now, I've had these here for a few days, and to be honest, I was going to go over to the parents yesterday, which was Monday, to sort these out, but I've not been well. I've not been well at all since Boxing Day, and yesterday was another day gone because of illness. But it means that I'm up early today, 5 o'clock early. So I'm going to be going over to the parents early today, which means I'm going to have a look at these. Now, there's a few things that I'm going to need to make sure, and the thing, I've been trying not to get overly excited because I got excited last time, and I was really annoyed. I was devastated actually. The handles weren't right, so I've been trying not to get too excited about these. There's a few things that I'm going to need to check and make sure. Okay, one of them is, see if I can get this a little bit closer without damaging anything. Right, okay, one of them is, I need to see whether I'm covering up all of the holes or not. Because if I'm not, I've got some filling work to do. I've already worked out I'm going to do that. Touch of masking tape, poke into the hole, then fill it. Job done, basically. So I know how I'm going to do that. I've had time to think about that. Another thing I need to work out is, are these screws that are going to go through the hole of the drawer long enough to go through the hole of the drawer and into the thing? Because if these aren't, I'm going to need to go and buy some screws. What else? I need to make sure that I'm happy with how these look, and I need to make sure that they suit. Now, I know that I haven't really shown these yet, so I'm about to do that now. I'm just put one together. Oh, hang on a minute, you pain in the arse. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, I was getting confused about something then. Okay, so it's got a little function so that the handle doesn't hit the wood. Interesting. Okay, so this is what the handles look like. Now, I must admit I did like how these ones looked, but there's a couple of reasons that I got these particular ones. One is they do look quite nice, and the other is actually this part. This part, when I measured it, was big enough to cover the holes. However, I may be too wide apart, but I'm prepared for that. Another is, when it comes to the door handle, I haven't got that here with me. That came a week or so ago and it's already at my parents'. The door handle is in the same style as this ring, but it's a ring handle, not a drop handle. But yeah, I like how they look. Now, as for how they look on the drawer, I think that might be alright, you know. I am going to have to do some filling, but that'd be alright. I mean, that's on the shallow drawer. I am going to have to, yeah, they are a little bit wider than the holes. I am going to have to do some filling, which is a little bit frustrating, but I'm prepared for that. Well, I was aware that it may be needed. I know, you see, that doesn't, I like the look of that. I know you can't see properly, but I think there will be, oh, excuse me, they will be absolutely fine. But there are a few key things about these, obviously. I am going to have to drill holes through the drawer faces, and that's one of the things that I was obviously going to be going to go and do today. I've got a feeling that these are not long enough. Ooh, you know what? It might just be. Now, something else that I need to be aware of is where the screws are going to end up being on the inside of the drawers, because of the locking mechanisms. You know what? It's going to be tight, but we're going to be alright, because it's only a screw head and it's got its own sort of self-made washer on it. Yeah, we should be okay on the inside. Okay, so overall size wise they're fine. Having to do a little bit of repair work on some holes, I'm aware. I'm not too worried about that. It's going to be a little bit time consuming, but I'm not too worried about that. The bit I'm worried about now, seeing as that I'm quite happy with how the handles look and the size, the bit I'm worried about is making sure that they aren't fucking wonky on there. So I'm gonna have to measure and measure again. Actually, you know what might not be a bad idea? See, I've been trying to think of ways I can try and make it easier for myself, and one of the things I'm thinking is making a template. So get a piece of cardboard, put this on it, mark it out, and mark where the holes would be, and then it gives me an easier thing to put on the drawers to go, okay, well that's where I need a hole. Then obviously it's a case of getting it lined up. But there's a lot of measuring and remeasuring and checking, but that it does mean that I could potentially get these on today. Now, with realising, okay, I'm going to need to fill the holes, I think the way that I'm going to need to do this is get all of the drawers marked up for where my new holes need to be. Get those holes drilled, then get these holes filled, leaving my new holes, and then the handles can go on once everything that's been filled in on the drawers has dried. Okay, so I've got a plan of action for today then. I'm struggling with a little bit with motivation because of how I've been feeling, but I've got a lot of washing to get done at my mum's. I've got these that I want to try and get done. There's a bit on the workbench that I want to get done, which you probably haven't seen the videos for those yet. I'm saving them. The table videos should all be out now. Obviously I did the table in, when was it, end of November? Something like that. It took me a while to go through all the footage anyway. But all that's, I've finished messing about with all that footage. So yeah, so what I need to do is go and get these loaded into the car and see if I can get my motivation going and see how we get on with these today. See you in a bit in the workshop. Hello. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm over at the workshop and it's a little bit cold in here. I've got a heater on next to me, but it's not helping much. And today's a big day. Today could be a make or break day regarding the unit. It's been very difficult not being able to do anything with it for the last few weeks, and get this for a fucked up revelation. The work on this unit has spanned 3 years. That's excuse me. I mean, it does make it sound a bit extreme, because it was like end of 2017, end of 2018, all of 19, and now it's 2020. So it has spanned 3 years, but only just. Now I'm in a situation where I'm currently sort of working out how I'm measuring up, or going to measure up the placement of the handles, because I have to make sure I get this right, and I've been sort of playing about with the theory of a few ideas, but I'll show you sort of in my basic form what it is I'm kind of going with at the moment. Okay, so here in front of me we have a drawer. Now this drawer is the only one that is this particular width. The rest of the drawers are all the same width but different heights. So each drawer is going to be a little bit bespoke, so I can't just sort of make one template for all of the drawers. Excuse me, I am going to have to measure up on all of them. Now, thinking about it, I've just thought of something. Now what I was going to do, and I may have to change it now, is I've basically got this. I've made this. Well, I haven't made it. I've cut it out and put some holes in it. But this is basically a template of the handle, the base, with the hole for each of the screws, but then also there's another hole here. Now this hole is effectively a spotting hole, because what I intended on doing is masking taping the front of this so that I can draw on it with pencil, and basically measure this distance and then halve it, and then measure this distance and halve it, and basically do a line across. So basically creating this. Then my center hole here, all I would need to do is match that up with the cross, and then make sure that in this hole is this line, and in that hole is this line, and that would tell me where my holes would need to be drilled. But looking at this, I don't think that was exactly in the middle, like halfway up. I don't know. So one of the things I'm going to have to do in a moment is grab the handle and just have a look whether, with it being around about halfway up, will the handle sit too low? Because if it does, I'm going to have to raise it up a bit. But hopefully my theory of that type of measurement should work on all of the other drawers, apart from possibly the two that go next to this one, which are the same thickness, the same depth. Right, I'm going to have a look at that. Okay, so I'm just sort of eyeballing this a little bit. Going on where it was half, well, sort of the middle notches, the middle holes basically, on the drawer. The handles would be alright. I think they'd be okay at half distance. I think what I'm going to have to do is, I must admit that the handles are they look nicer here in better light than they did at mine. I definitely think I made the right choice going to these handles. Now my folks haven't seen these handles yet. I think what I need to do is mark it up and see how I get on. Now I'm in two minds whether I mark up each one, mark where the holes are going to be, mark each one of them up and then drill them all at the same time, or whether I do one at a time. I'm thinking getting them all marked up first might be better. But then, having said that, last time I tried to bulk do stuff, it didn't go too well, did it? So maybe I need to just treat each one individually and see how I get on. So I think that's what I'll do, actually. Panic stations. The first handle's on. Double chin, fat fuck. Obviously, it's very difficult for me to tell if it is even. And obviously, I've got to take it off and sort the masking tape out. But obviously, I need to fill some holes in there, so the masking tape needs to stay on for a moment. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with that so far. What I've had to do, ultimately, it's been horrible drilling through something I spent so long getting to a nice finish. Now the screws were a millimetre or two too short, so what I've ended up having to do is countersink these slightly, but that's not too much of a problem. But I do think it's right that I approach these one at a time rather than trying to do all of them at the same time. Because when it comes to the measuring, I need to make sure that I get that right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take this handle off, pop through the masking tape where the bits are that are going to need repairs or filling in, and then I'll move on to the next drawer. Okay, now I know that I said I wasn't going to do stuff in bulk, and I'm not, other than this bit, which is going to use some wax. Rather than using wood dust to fill these little holes, I'm going to go with the wax because it should be quicker, easier, and shouldn't need colouring. If I used my wood dust, then it would need to be stained. So I'm going to try and bypass that process. Now I've got myself a little bit of plastic. It's actually, I had a tool that came attached to this, but it's quite a sturdy, thick piece of plastic. So I'm going to use this as my scraper today. Now I don't know how well this is going to work. It should work very well, but given how I got on with the wax last time, I'm not expecting any miracles. I just need to try and make sure I don't set fire to the wax. I just want it to be ready to drip, which it very nearly was. Now, hopefully, this bit of wax that I'm using it's very close to the mahogany colour anyway, so I think it is a mahogany wax. Now, something that I kind of need to do that I learnt from last time is to push it in while it's still masking taped, because that's what I fucked up last time. Now I might need to refill these holes. might actually be too thick a piece of plastic. Well, we can come back to... I better go and find that. Yeah, I can come and touch those holes up a little bit in a moment. I just want to move on to the next one. What I'm thinking of trying to do is basically trying to get 3 of the drawers done at a time. I know I said I wasn't going to bulk do stuff, and I'm not up to the waxing bit. And the only reason that I'm doing this together is because of dicking about with fire and the wax, but also I wanted to see how these first ones were going to look with a wax. Okay, you're drying too quick. I don't think it's helping that the heater I've got on is blowing the flame all over the place. Come on. The right draft coming. I'm not getting to fill the holes as much as I would like to at the moment. I'm basically chasing a fucking flame. It's definitely making it awkward to get it to melt nicely. Yeah, as I was saying, I wanted to see how this wax was going to look rather than getting to the point of waxing all 9 and having no idea how it would look. Alright, see if I can just work that in a little bit. It is possible that this might not be the right type of plastic to use. I mean, on each of the drawers there's a small hole to fill and then a little sort of divot. Well, it's not that little, so it's not like it needs loads and loads and loads of work doing on it, so hopefully be just enough to blend in. And I don't really want to have to go sanding on that, because if I do, I'm going to end up sanding a bit of this, and if I end up sanding this, I'm going to have to end up varnishing it. I want to try and avoid that. Now annoyingly, because it's not a Monday today, it's a Tuesday, normally I would perhaps treat myself with a Chinese if I've earned it. But because it's a Tuesday, the Chinese ain't open, and I can't even swap it for a curry because the curry house isn't open on a Tuesday. I might have to go and see the sexy little lady with the chippy. Although there was a sexy little lady in the co-op near where I live. Well, there was one a while ago that looked all shit. Well, she didn't look all shit. I just spoke some words. She looked a lot like the Red Queen. Sorry, the Red Witch from Game of Thrones. And then there was another one who looked a bit geeky, but I don't know, smelled bad. And I was plucking up, I was trying to work up the courage anyway to ask her out just before Christmas, and I've not seen her in there since. I didn't get to ask, but she's not been there, so I'm guessing she's left. So I'm going to put that candle out for a moment. Let's see how we get on here. And like I say, I might have to get my driving licence out again. Maybe the fact that there was a bit of flex in it is what really made that work. I'm hoping that this is not going to cause any. It shouldn't cause any damage to the wood. And I'm hoping that having the masking tape on here is not going to cause any damage either. Yeah, it's not quite working that. It was a nice idea. The driver's license worked last time, so let's go with that again, shall we? Well, from the looks of it, oh shit. Right, I'm gonna have to be careful there. I was about to say, from the looks of it, it's going to take a little bit of working to get the wax down to the right level. So rather than boring you with all of that, I'll carry on with these and I'll show you what it's like when they're done. Right, I have applied some wax to these three, and I've got to say I'm not overly happy. I mean, okay, it looks a little bit better than it did, but it's taken a long fucking time just to get it looking like this. And I mean, I do feel that to get it looking absolutely right, I'd have to keep going at this, and I don't really want to. So I'm in two minds at the moment about what to do. I think what I might do is, on one of them, is just have a quick look at exactly where the rings are going to come, because if it's covering most of the gap, then I'll be alright. Right. Oh, hopefully the first handle is about to go on for its last time. Although I may have to still, I mean, I've countersunk them, but I may have to countersink them a little bit more. I need to see how much they come through. Now, one of the things that I've tried to do with these screws is let the screws create their own thread in the wood. I mean, they don't need to be like threaded with the wood as such, but I have tried to let it do that just to give it some extra security. Okay, so that's just poking through the other side. Now I am going to have to give the insides of these drawers a vac once I have got the handles on. I have also just given them the fronts another polish. I got some of my wire wool, so I was seeing where some bricks have decayed and dropped on the floor. Yeah, I got a bit of the very fine wire wool just to rub away any of the excess wax, which worked very well. And then I decided, you know what, I'll give them another polish, and to be honest, they feel fucking lovely. I mean, they felt good before, they feel even better now. So I think that's the process I'm going to sort of go with. I will continue waxing the other drawers, the fronts. Interesting as well with these, I found out that they can't go on both ways, so there is a specific way that they kind of have to go on. Yeah, so I will continue to wax the gaps. Interestingly, okay, I'm going to need to pull that out a little bit because I need to be able to get the actual base flush. Okay, I mean using these type of handles is new to me. I've never personally used these before, so any of the little details about them, like for example right now, making sure that the base is touching the drawer before I do the final bit of screwing in, because otherwise I'm going to be trying to pull the screw through the wood rather than the base towards the wood. If that don't make sense, don't worry, it did to me. Okay. That way, I think. What that might mean actually, let's see. Oh, I can get that up onto the wood. So we're all right there. I've been avoiding using power drills for this bit, which I was sort of hinting at when I mentioned about letting the screws create their own threads. I didn't want to use the power drills for that, but I did find it very, my hands were hurting a lot from using a normal screwdriver, and my new screwdrivers, to be honest, were pissing me off a bit with not really connecting well with the screws. So I've gone and found this ratchet one, which is very useful. Now, I kind of have to be careful about how much I tighten these, because I'm not sure how tight it could actually go. But for now, as long as it is firmly fitted, which it is, and now we have the first drawer handle fitted. You know, I'm going to get one of the handles wonky, and you know that someone at some point, even if I don't get them wonky, someone will go, "And you got that fucking wonky, you have." Yeah. Right, okay. Time for the next one. I must admit, I don't know what the time is. I've been here a while. I'm not sure what the time is, but I am going to have to go and take a break after I finish these three, because it is a bit cold in here. I could do with going and getting a hot drink. And I need to sort my next load of washing out. But I do want to get these three lots of handles on, and I do want to get these three drawers into the unit, so I can get my first look at how these are going to look. And not only that, the drawers haven't been properly in the unit for a long time, so I do need to find out straight away whether any of the drawers are going to be a bit sticky, or whether they just need swapping around, because like, of these three, these are the top three drawers, and obviously two of them are identical, but I might find that when I first put them in, they might be sticky, but if I swap them round, they might be fine. So now, if any of them are sticky, basically what I'll do is sand down the running edges. But I mean, I must admit, I am hoping to get this finished today. Now, it might be possible. It might all depend on if I've got another candle, because that one's almost fucking gone. So that's another reason for me to go over to the house. I need to get a candle and some more matches, because I noticed I was struggling to light the matches here, and so it's because they're, well, it said they're only good until 2015, so they're only 5 years out of beyond their best. I have been wondering recently whether part of my, because with my illness, it's almost like people have thought I've had flu with the description I've been giving them, but I've not had a cold. I mean, I may have been a bit sniffly on occasion, but I've not really had a cold or a cough or anything like that. I've just been in a lot of pain, and my brain hasn't been right. It hasn't felt right at all. Not sleeping for more than 2 hours at a time. And then I'm in so much pain, and I'm wondering if any of it is mental. For example, the stress of frustration, not stress, but the frustration of not having finished this already. Okay, that's interesting. So they do. They can spin around. Maybe I just had an unusual one. Now, something I haven't really considered is that all of these fucking handles should be the same. Now, these first three drawers I have measured and drilled from from the template of one handle, and that's what all of them are going to be. So they better be fucking identical. Once again, it is handy though. There is a little bit of leeway in movement of where the base plates go, or can go. I suppose it's one of the upsides of going for this style, is that they can move a little bit. There's a bit of margin if needed, whereas with a solid base you wouldn't have that. One of the things I don't want to do is screw these in so tight that it actually pulls the bases into the front face. I suppose it wouldn't be too much of a problem, because ideally these will be the last set of handles that this unit will need. I am liking them. I am liking it. Okay, I am struggling. Now I know that I said I mean I do want to get this finished today. I would love to be able to finish this today, but if it turns out that I can't, then I can't. I'm not gonna overdo myself, not with how I've been recently. But I would love to be able to sort of go over to the house later on and basically say, right, let's bring it over. What I don't want to do is I don't want to go rushing any part of this. Excuse me, because if I rush any of it and mess up the measurements, yeah, I could ruin the whole thing. And I'd rather not ruin the whole thing. Now, for anyone that's been watching this series of videos from near the start, you may remember that I will have mentioned at that time that as it became apparent that I'm not too bad at doing some of this stuff, the projects would, I said, well, I'll get inundated. It'll be, oh, you could do that, and you could do this, and yeah. But as we know, I've got my own table to do. It might span over 4 years getting that done. There's the workbench, which, depending on how I get on with this lot today, may get its base done today, but I'm not that bothered about it. There's for anyone that knows what an IKEA Kallax unit is, oh, well, my dad's got one that's about, I don't know, 40 years old, something like that. And I'd already spotted it a while ago and thought, that'd look alright in my living room if it was done up quite nice. But I'd spotted that it might need doing at some point, and yeah, a few days ago my dad said, oh, that could do with freshening up a little bit, cleaning and a bit of coat of paint. And I'm thinking, yeah, it could just do with a clean and a coat of paint, or I could fucking do it proper. And then if the time comes that he no longer needs it, I have it. Also, I am liking the look of these handles. As much as I liked the first lot that I got, I'm kind of glad now that they didn't work. They weren't right. They will be right for the workbench, don't get me wrong. And as much as it pissed me off, like having them turn up and find out that they weren't right, I am glad that they weren't right now, because these look a lot better. They suit this unit a lot more. Okay, so that is drawer number 3 done. I am very pleased with how they look. Oh. Yeah, now they look a bit silvery, but they are actually brass. What I will say is I'm not sure how much memory I've got on my phone, so I'm going to go and pop these drawers in a second, then I'll see how much memory I've got, because I may not be able to show me doing the workings on the next 6 drawers if I'm limited on memory. Okay, let's see how I get on. Okay, I'm buzzing. How good does that look? They do look spot on. I can't wait to get the rest of the drawers finished. Right, see the bit? I'm down to the last 3 drawers. Come on. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, I am going to show on the screen a picture of what the cabinet used to look like, and now I'll put up a picture of what it looks like now, and yes, it looks very, very different now. The door, a little frustratingly, is a little darker than the rest of the cabinet, but thinking about it, I'm sure my dad said he put that door on it. I could be wrong. Either way, it's fucking finished. It's taken over a year, but it's finally done. And my doors work, my drawers work, and they got the black liners. I must admit, I'm very pleased with how the handles look. So yeah, now I am absolutely beat. Now I don't know how much memory I've got available on my phone at the moment, so if it does cut off, I'll have to wait until I get home to finish off recording this. As I was just saying, I am absolutely beat. Physically, I am absolutely exhausted. Mentally, this is daft as it might sound, mentally I'm a little bit depressed because it's finished. There's nothing more for me to do on it. And for a year, it's been one of the main things I've been involved with. But at the same time, I am absolutely delighted with how it's come out. But I'm not going to be, I don't think I'm going to be completely happy until it is in its position in the house. So basically what I'm going to do now is I am going to go over to the house because I still need to sort out one more lot of washing, and I'm going to say to my mother, I'm going to ask her if she can do me a favour, and when she says yes of course, what is it? It'll be clear the space for your cabinet, because it's about to come back over. It's weird, I thought I'd be absolutely over the moon at this point, and I am happy, but there is definitely a sense, like, kind of like a feeling of being a bit lost, really. It's like, what am I going to do now? I mean, there are other things for me to do. I mean, maybe it's just because of the way I've been feeling recently that my emotions are all over the place, but either way, I mean, I am happy with it. I mean, my dad popped over earlier. He didn't realise I was finishing this off today, and when he saw the first 3 drawers in position, he seemed quite impressed. So it'll be interesting to see what my mother's reaction will be like, because she's not seen the drawers for months, and she hasn't really seen the rest of the unit. And the thing is, you don't get the full perspective until the whole thing is together. It sounds like it might be raining outside. That was a vehicle going past. Either way, I need to crack on, because if this is going into the house today, then I was going to say before it gets dark, but it's just starting to get dark. It's been a long ass fucking day for me today. Up at 5, been here since 8, and it's now 4 o'clock. So yeah, it's definitely been a long day. Right, better go and warn the mother. You can come and have a look now, Mum. I said it was for Christmas, so you have to wait till next year.
You're joking. Oh, they look nice.
You can take it off.
Why isn't it wrapped up in Christmas paper?
Fuck off.
Oh, that's lovely. All I've got to do now, find a photograph.
Of what?
You.
Why?
So I can put it on there.
No, you don't need that.
Perhaps one with the dogs. That looks lovely.
Oh. Do you believe
What?
it spanned 3 years? Started in 2018.
Oh.
I'm now in 2020.
What about the year that Martin started it?
That don't count.
Because he didn't finish it. That is brilliant.
And all of them work. Now, at the liner I've just put in loose for now. If you want to glue it in, that's entirely up to you. I've got some polish if you wanted to polish it, although the drawers have been polished today. All of the drawers work.
That makes a change. Oh, that does make a change.
You ain't tried the door.
Oh, yes.
It ain't perfect, but
It's brilliant. That is lovely.
now you've got to work out what you're not going to put on it.
Well, yeah, I'm going to put a cloth, a little round cloth for the bowl, and that's it. And the elephant. And gloves, scarf,
Hats, coats.
hats, sticky tape. And I'm not putting dog food in it.
What's the betting? Dad walks into the corner tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. There we go then. The cabinet is complete. I am broken. I am absolutely done in. It's been worth it though. I mean, over the course of the last year, it has helped me doing that. The last month or so has been very tough for me, but I've still managed to finish it, and I'm happy with it. I think I'm just too exhausted at the moment to be really ecstatic about it, but I am very pleased with it. Interestingly, I know I didn't show much of me doing the wax working on the last 6 drawers, but to be honest, as I was getting to the last few drawers, I definitely learned a few things. As in, I was not letting the wax get hot enough. I wasn't letting it get drippy enough, and that's what was making it difficult and messy. Whereas when I heated it up more and it was dripping, it was so much easier to work with. So yeah. Right, apologies for the video cutting off there. I ran out of memory space. As you can tell, I am back at my place. And to be honest, yes, I know it's dark. It's dark for 2 reasons. 1, it's dark outside. And 2, if I put these lights on, you won't see shit. Okay, so it's the morning after finishing the cabinet. And physically, I am absolutely broken. I have had an awful night's sleep. I think the time's about 3 o'clock in the morning now. I've been awake for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I literally got home last night, had my dinner, and don't remember much else from, well, until about 10:30. So I must have been in and out of sleep. Anyway, 10:30 I went to bed, and I was in a lot of pain, and I've hardly slept. I've just been in so much agony with my back. I've not been able to get comfortable at all. I've not been able to crack it, and I've been trying. It needs to crack. It needs to release. I've been trying a lot of different things. In the end, that's why I'm now up and about, because nothing's worked. So I figure, right, I ain't getting any more sleep. And one of the things with this whole process has been for working towards benefit, working towards it's meant to be positive things, and so this is very difficult to deal with at the moment, because this obviously isn't positive, but at the same time, I kind of look at it as, okay, this has taken a long time to do, and I don't think I was fully prepared to actually finish. Like mentally, I wasn't prepared to be at that stage of, you know what, it's done yesterday. So I think mentally that's knocked me for 6. But physically, I think my body's just, it's gone, right, okay, now you've finished, we're having a break. So I am absolutely fucking ruined. But I don't feel bad about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather not be in pain and I'd rather have a decent night's sleep. But the fact that I've ended up achieving a massive goal, because that was one of the things that all the way through, it was, okay, there's a big goal to achieve, but I can't achieve that because there's hundreds of little goals that need achieving first, and that's what I focused on. I never really once, well, maybe once before Christmas, when the first lot of handles turned up and I was like, yeah, okay, we can finish now, and the depression of no, I can't. So yeah, I never really had looked at it as achieve that goal of completion. So it might sound stupid, but it's kind of crept up on me. But I mean, I haven't watched the video of all the stuff that we did yesterday yet, so I haven't looked back at how the cabinet looks or how it looked on that final day. And to be honest, even though obviously I'm the one that was working on it and doing it, I was in so much pain yesterday that I was pretty much, I was going around with my eyes wide shut. I mean, I was awake, but I wasn't taking anything in. So I had a bit of difficulty just in conversation yesterday evening. So I'm going to sort of experience for the first time, like, appreciating the completion of the unit when I watch the video in a moment. At least I hope I appreciate it. But it's been worth it, and this is the thing. Even though I'm in agony now, and I'm suffering now, it has been worth it. And there was a few things that I wanted to. There's a few things that I wanted to accomplish during all of this. One was obviously to get it completed, and because it's not always easy to start something, especially something that gonna take as long as it did, and stick with it and complete it. It really has been tough to do that. But the obsession has meant that I've been determined to do that. I mean, it's still annoying that, okay, a professional probably could have done it within a couple of fucking days. It's taken me a year. But that's not the point. It was taking on the challenge and doing it, and the fact that it was helping me. I've helped it, and it was helping me. Now, maybe the trade-off at the moment is that the cabinet looks fucking brilliant. Well, from what I can remember, it looks fucking brilliant. I don't at the moment, but maybe that's the trade-off. If you remember, I'd said a long time ago, bringing these things back to life, bringing me back to life. Well, maybe I've had to give part of me for it to be finished. That might not make any sense to anyone, but I know what I mean. I did want to get it finished before Christmas. Obviously that didn't happen. I mean, it was the only time I really set myself a deadline. It was as it got close to Christmas. I would have loved to have got it in before Christmas, but it wasn't to be. But another one was I wanted to get it finished before either one of the parents croaked. To be honest, I can't remember if I mentioned that at any point. I might have done, but I really did want to get it finished before anything happened to one of them, because I mean they are getting on a bit, and the time's probably coming in. Well, it's coming in the near future. That's just the way of life. I ain't ready for that, but I'd have been gutted had I not finished this when that happened. So as depressing as it might sound, let's say if something was to happen to one of them today, obviously I'd be devastated. But I'd be so pleased that I'd managed to finish, as stupid as it might appear to be, I'd be so pleased that I'd managed to finish that cabinet for them, and they'd been able to see it and see how it should look. Because it's been a long time since that's looked anywhere near right. Okay, there's gonna be, I think, one more video regarding this cabinet, and that is gonna be a montage of all of the pictures that I've taken during this whole process. Now, I don't know how long that video will be. I'll pop some music on it rather than having me talking. But I know I mean, I know there's not a lot of people watching these videos. I don't care. I'm doing it for myself. And if people want to watch them, fine. If people find them interesting or entertaining, then great. That's not why I'm doing it, but I'm just doing it for me. And I'd like to sit there and look at how it went from how it looked at the start to how it looked at the end. Now, don't get me wrong, I wish I'd taken a proper before picture with all the drawers and everything, but yeah, I never did that. So I can't just go from one picture bang to another picture in its entirety. But there are 2 or 3 pictures from early on that show how bad a condition the unit was in, and then one picture that goes, bosh, there you go now. And then obviously there's a load of pictures from in between. So I am going to try and get that done. Now, obviously, there's also been the kitchen table videos that I've been doing, and those videos are completed now. Let's see. I have already started recording the workbench. So at the moment there's, I mean, with the workbench, that's going to be sort of very sporadic, I think. Because I'm only going to be doing little bits on that every now and again. I'm only doing a bit of work on it at the moment so I can get some casters on it so it can just be easily be moved. But rather than just bolt some casters onto it, it needs to be worked on a little bit to get to the point where I can put casters on it. And obviously I've got my own table, which I'm going to need to pick up a couple of things for that, some more furniture stripper, because the wax remover won't work on that because it's varnish on it, not wax. So yes, I've got those 2 series of videos hopefully to come, and I have been looking forward to doing the table one. I mean, I've had that table a long time, maybe not quite a year, I can't remember, but I've had it a long time. Or was it more than a year? I can't remember. But yeah, I've had it a while. And then there's the big Kallax unit that I mentioned. I don't know whether I'll record doing anything with that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take this any further than these things I'm doing at the moment. I simply don't know. You may remember me saying that my dad had offered to send me on a course to learn more about this kind of furniture refurbishment and carpentry. And I haven't thought about whether it's something that I want to do or not. Because, I mean, let's face it, if I was doing this for a living at the moment, that cabinet would need to be worth about 18 grand. Because it's taken a year and it ain't worth 18 grand. Yeah, I've no idea how much it would be worth. I mean, the handles cost, what, 30 quid? Anyway, I guess we can only wait and see what the future holds. So, apologies if I've waffled on a bit here, but it is, as I said, very early in the morning and I am not in the greatest condition. But thankfully, is the cabinet in a better condition now than when I started? And the answer is hell fucking yes. See, Dave gets wood. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you all again soon.